22nd Annual Garnet Alumni Classic game between the Arcadia University Knights and your Swarthmore College Garnet. Let's meet today's
Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the Garnet Sports Network, the inaugural broadcast of the 2019 season for the Swarthmore men's soccer team as they take on the Arcadia University Knights in the 22nd annual Garnet Alumni Classic. Garnet had a heartbreaking loss to finish off last season. That was against Haverford here at home. A chance to make the playoffs was on the line. They found themselves up right at the beginning of the second half off of a penalty, which was a little bit questionable in its awarding, but alas, they found themselves up 1-0, and then in the 87th minute, it was a handball by Ben Lau in the box, which gave Haverford a penalty. They converted and then went on to win in OT. The Garnet ended up finishing that season 4-4-1. It was their best conference finish in about 5 years. They finished 9-7-1 overall. And they were looking pretty good as a team, especially defensively. You looked at it last season, you had that the center back pairing between Ben Lau and Harry Nevins to close out the season. It had started with Jason Muth along with Harry Nevins. Nevins playing as a true freshman. And Muth got injured, was out for a couple weeks, and Ben Lau just played so well down the stretch there at center back that they couldn't replace him in the lineup. So Muth ended up having to sit out the rest of the season. He's been putting in a lot of hard work in the offseason. He's back in the starting lineup today. Ben Lau has been moved out to that right back position, so it's once again that defensive pairing between Jason Muth and Harry Nevins that started the Garnet off last season. On the left, it'll be Sean Nolan defensively. In the middle, we've got Trevor Homestead as the holding midfielder, Charlie Ward and Woojin Shin as center mids. Bless Tumushabe, a freshman. From what we've heard, Coach Eric Wagner very bullish on his potential with this team, obviously getting the start as a freshman on opening day. To his right is Io George, who got limited minutes last season. And then on his left, Joe Barilli, now a junior. One noticeable absence from the starting lineup. It's the leading scorer from last season, Zach Viscusi. Finished the year with 6 goals and 1 assist. He's looking for double digits in goal scoring this season, but he is on the bench for the 2019 opener. We'll see if perhaps that's just a chance by Wagner to get to see how Tumushabe plays there up top alone, as Nolan looks long for the ball to him. It's intercepted, however, because the Garnet did lose a significant amount of goal scoring from last season. Ethan Witkowski, he is still a senior, but injuries have forced his college career to end. He scored 4 goals and a couple of assists as well. Nice flick back there from Daniel Tittlemeyer. He's the highest returning goal scorer for the Arcadia University Knights. So Viscusi will have a big role when he's on the field as the leading returning goal scorer, and the leading goal scorer from last season overall. And it'll also be up to other guys to step up. Ben Lau actually chipped in 2 goals. I think both were off of set pieces. Here's a set piece opportunity for Arcadia. Muth gets his head on it, knocks it away, crosses in towards the top of the box, trying to chest it down is Runkle. Still in the box now, and Sean Nolan, another true freshman, making the start on opening day, gets in the way for the Garnet, clears it out past midfield. The other goal scorer from last season, we haven't mentioned, Yuheng Wang, finished with 5 goals, a couple of assists as well. So a big loss. One return that could be important for them is Omri Gall. He was a starter when he was here, took all of last season off to be a Langfellow. Charlie Ward being played in there by Woojin Shin. Ward with a nice move, trying to find his shot, instead leaves it off for George. George will take it to the end line, tries to whip a cross in, but that's well defended by Logan Stafford. And Arcadia now. Tittlemeyer has it. Almost a chance there for the Garnet to get on the board early as Shin threaded a perfect pass through some defenders. Got Charlie Ward in space, but after he took that touch around his defender, just couldn't find his shot. Be passed out wide now to Andy Kim. So Omri Gall making his return, took all of last season off to be a Lang Fellow, so he does have a year of eligibility remaining, and he could be huge for the Garnet in that playmaking role. And he'll also probably look to him to step up, put a couple in the back of the net as well. Well defended by Homestead as he gets it to the feet of Ben Lau. Here's George on the touchline, trying to thread it up ahead, looking for Tumushabe. Ward knocks it down off his chest, and pushed back forward by Thomas Hoy. There's a cross in, but nothing too challenging as Steinglass grabs it up. Looks like that was Kenneth Marshman, sophomore forward, who was in the area. Pass ahead to Tumushabe. Can't quite get the controlling touch. Nice footwork there along the midfield, and here he goes. Tries to get the pass through to Barilli. Can't quite get back to that ball. Lau comes forward to challenge and commits the foul on Tittlemeyer. Set up another free kick for the Knights within their own territory. It's an experienced and tall backline there for the Garnet. So not all that experienced. Two sophomores on it. Muth, the old man back there, as a junior. Tumushabe trying to get underneath that ball. Oh, here he goes. He could be through, but Matt Brendelmeyer there with the defensive stop. Nolan trying to get around the edge, commits the foul. So I believe it was whistled earlier on Homestead. Not sure that ball ever came in bounds, but it'll bounce out. Sean Nolan on the sideline. Nevin's back there. Nevin's a product of the Southampton Academy, has been quite impressive as a center back. Perhaps the Swarthmore equivalent of Virgil van Dijk, the fantastic Liverpool man and a winner of the UEFA Player of the Year award. Pass will roll back to Muth, who's there in the box. Speculative long ball, looking for Tumushabe to get underneath. Handed down. Ward is there. Good controlling touch by him. Tries to flick a ball through, but Matt Brendelmeyer is there. Lau now trying to thread one through, but too many defenders there. Controlled at the touchline by Arcadia. Homestead's there to clean it up. Tumushabe trying to spin back onto it, and he got clipped by Io Adenigan. That'll be a free kick for the Garnet, about 35 yards out. Charlie Ward will be the set piece taker as they bring nearly their entire back line forward. Nolan and Shin, the lone two men back, with got the tall men up there in Muth, Lau, and Nevins. Mentioned at the beginning, Lau had 2 goals, trying to chip in. Muth looking for the head of Muth, can't quite get the touch. It'll go out of bounds. Goal kick for Arcadia. And the first real action for Jake Verado of the day. Arcadia probably not quite happy with how they finished off last season. 5-11-1 overall, only 2-6 in MAC play. 24 goals scored, 28 allowed, which incidentally is the exact reverse of what the Garnet scored last season. They scored 28, allowed 24. Brendelmayer with the throw-in off the head of Marshman. Tries to play it to Tittlemeyer, and Tittlemeyer looking for the heel pass. Couldn't connect. Oh, bad touch there by George as it trickles out of bounds near touchline. Set up a throw-in taken by Brendelmayer. Defended by Homestead out of bounds. Another throw-in for Arcadia. Deeper into Garnet territory. Duncan O'Connor. Maybe looking to get it into the box as Adenigan is there. Not quite enough on it for him. Homestead flicks it forward. Tumushabe can't connect with it. George now. Homestead plays it back to Lau. Garnet have looked better today than they have in the past at stringing together passes. They haven't quite found intent with all of them. Obviously, that ball from Shin earlier on to try to play in Charlie Ward nearly led to a shot on goal. They've looked better at just stringing together. Tumushabe tries to flick it forward to Ward, but a little bit too far. Shin able to get his foot in it. Here come the Garnet in the counterattack. Barilli running it down towards the end line. Gets control. Barilli has to send it back to Nolan. Nolan, big leg there. Too much for Io George. Just came underneath that ball a little bit too much and carried on him. A little bit of a windy day out there that might have given that ball just a little bit of extra carry. Pretty nice day for soccer weather-wise. Just about 80 degrees, a little bit humid, and sky is just slightly overcast, but can't ask for much better than this. Lau with a good tackle there. Go out of bounds, and it'll be a corner kick. Looks like for Arcadia. Brandon Pryor. Looking for the outswinger. Almost a line drive there. Could be dangerous. Knocked up in the air. Homestead got underneath it, and Nolan collects in the corner. Plays up the sideline. Barilli is there. Flicks it out to Tumushabe. He could have it in space. Here he goes. Bless Tumushabe on the side of the box. Tries to cross it home. Joe Barilli. And it's in. Joe Barilli off the post to open up the scoring for the Garnet in the 2019 season. It's the pass from Bless Tumushabe, the freshman, and the Garnet up 1-0 in the 12th minute. It all started with that outlet pass from Sean Nolan in the back. Got it up the sideline. Tumushabe able to run through the challenge there. Crossed it back as the goalkeeper came off his line, and Barilli was in perfect position to foot that one home. Garnet lead 1-0, and this is exactly how they wanted to start off their season. Also building some confidence there for the freshman. Nice for him to put his name in the scorebook in the first game of the season. That's how you build confidence. And Tumushabe, he has worked hard so far in this game and rewarded with an assist in the opener. Garnet back in possession off the restart. Out wide to Nolan. Look to cut back in. Another speculative ball. Here's Ward through. Tries to chip. And just too high. Not sure if the flag was up there from the linesman signaling offside. Either way, Ward put it over the net as he tried to get a chip. Almost a golden opportunity there for him to at least put it in, even if it wouldn't count. Good physical play there from Nevins defensively. It's at the foot of Steinglass, but Nevins is there. That's the safety valve. Nolan, good footwork. Now Shin. Muth looking up the sideline towards George, but leaves it too short, and whistle blows as Tumushabe commits the foul. Quickly helps Brendelmayer up to his feet. Just a couple words there, make sure he knows there was nothing intentional in that. Ball floated up. Nolan trying to get underneath, but a Denigan there to head it away. One area in which the Garnet have struggled a little bit so far, and this isn't exactly something that they control, but in winning those balls in the air, especially from their forwards, and unsurprising given that their top line is not exactly blessed with height. George looks to be the tallest up there. Him and Tumushabe maybe around 5'10", 5'11", and then Joe Barilli only about 5'7" or 8. And you compare that with guys like Adenigan standing at 6'4". That was one of the benefits of having someone in Ethan Witkowski who stood around, I believe, 6'1", 6'2" or so. So you had some height up there. He could challenge to win those balls in the air. Charlie Ward is the tallest of the midfielders and forwards, standing around 6 foot, but still they've struggled to win some balls in the air. Lau is trying to make a run there from that right back position. Muth with an aggressive challenge forward, and Shin plays it back to Steinglass. Slow reset. Tumushabe. Nice dribbling there. Lau now out wide. Cuts back towards the middle. Getting through traffic now, Ward with it. A little bit of battle there with Duncan O'Connor. And Ward commits the foul. Quick restart. Logan Stafford. Denigan with the forward ball to Runkle. And Nevins will chase down as it drifts back into the corner and plays it out of bounds. Thrown for the Garnet. Nolan's got it in his hands. Homestead off the chest. Can Lau keep this in near the touchline? He will. George able to keep that ball in right along the touchline. Here he goes, accelerating into space. He's got Tumushabe in the middle. Crosses in, but Adenigan is there. Pass goes out wide to Marshman. Here's Tittlemeyer trying to get around Homestead. Get back to Marshman, now into the middle. Push forward, but Nolan is there, and now Barilli trying to get the counter going. Instead, it'll pass back to Nolan. Drifts all the way over to Lau. Here's Nevins. Long, but a little too long for Joe Barilli there. The long passes today for the Garnet, other than that one, have looked pretty crisp so far. Their service in the box hasn't been quite as sharp, but those balls coming from the back line to the forwards have overall generally found their mark. Substitution for the Knights as Keegan Bauer makes his way onto the pitch. Shin back to Nolan, and now Homestead's got it. Muth put it behind Lau, but he's able to get back to it, drift over Nevin's way. Muth. Back to Lau now. Steinglass again. Glad to see Steinglass back and fully healthy. He was lost for a significant portion of last season due to injury, and Ian Withy-Berry stepped in quite admirably for him. But it's good to see him back as the first choice goalkeeper for the Garnet. Lau able to win the ball deep inside Arcadia territory. Shin fighting for it in the air. Instead it'll settle for Kuchnicki. Nevins at midfield. Shin with the pass to Nolan. Long ball there from Muse, settles for George. George trying to dribble past Logan Stafford, but he stands tall. Charlie Ward can't make the turn there with the pressure in the back. Nevins gets it out wide to Sean Nolan. He's played a pretty big role there at left back. Has been not afraid to come forward in the attack. Ben Lau as well. Eric Wagner, good tackle there. Oh, but he seems to have shaken himself up just a little bit there. Back on his feet, however. But Lau and Nolan together seem to have been given, free rein to really operate as fullbacks and come forward in the attack. Tittlemeyer trying to get between Homestead and Lau. A referee says play on as Tittlemeyer wanted the call as Homestead had his hand on his back, but it went down a little too easy. Nevins gets it to Tumushabe. Lau with some room. Still pass to Homestead. Here's Barilli. And that's one back there by Arcadia. Here comes O'Connor. Put it behind Bren Pryor, but he's able to correct to it. Back to Logan Stafford. About 22 minutes into this game. Yet to see any substitutions for this Garnet squad. Arcadia makes their second substitution of the day as Harun Abdullahi comes in. number of subs now warming up down there. We see Viscusi, Gall, Harrison Hotham among them. Francis Eddie Harvey as well. May make some changes to that forward line soon. Have played quite well so far. Out of bounds off of Arcadia. Short ball to George. Tumushabe pops it up in the air. Abdullahi gets underneath. Tries to whip it forward, but Nevins is there. Good physical play from him as Keegan Bauer goes down. And a foul called back behind play. Go out of bounds, however, at the far sideline. Throw-in for Arcadia. Here's Homestead. A little bit of a fancy turn there. Didn't get him much in space. Muth. Room to run. Gets the ball forward to Shin. Tumushabe was trying to make a run there. Lifted up now, but only black jerseys underneath. Ward comes, tries to get around. No whistle there as Ward gets taken down. Bauer gets the nice turnaround. Muth, and he gets tripped up. Whistle blows, and that'll be a free kick for Arcadia. Pretty big crowd out here today, as freshmen have all moved in at this point. Returning students making their way back to campus today and tomorrow, and classes start on Monday, so not much to do for those freshmen down there. They've come out in droves to support their fellow classmates, and a lot of athletes as well out in the stands. George able to head it out of the box. And Tumushabe called for the foul. Be another free kick for Arcadia. This one in a little bit more of a dangerous position than the last. I believe that's Zach Runkle waiting to take this. Tumushabe and Shin, the two men in the wall. Chip towards goal. Steinglass safely wraps it up. Lau looking long for Tumushabe as he chases after it. Forced to play it out of bounds is Berndelmeyer. And now come the subs for the Garnet, as it's Zach Viscusi and Joey Bradley making their way onto the pitch in place of George and Shin. Both had pretty good days so far. Bradley gets it to Viscusi, back now to Lau. Chipped up into the air. Ooh, just too high for Barilli. If he had gotten that one down, he had Viscusi trying to make the run in towards the near post. Ball's still deep inside Arcadia territory. Barilli's got it. Now Ward. Here's Bradley. Viscusi getting double-teamed along the sideline. Nevins there. Muth puts it up. Tumushabe got the head on. Now here's Homestead coming forward. Trevor Homestead. Nothing there. Trickle out of bounds. Garnett throwing. Bradley back to Barilli. Homestead trying to thread the needle there, but too many black jerseys around. Nolan got a couple good blocks there. Tumushabe trying to get through the mess of jerseys. Onto his right foot and tries to curl it in. Leaves it well wide. Another goal kick for Arcadia. They make a sub of their own. Colin Lankow now making his way to the pitch. Omri Gall still warming up down there, so if Garnett do decide to make another switch, it'll likely be him in this first half. Would not be surprised if they decide to give Tumushabe a little bit of a rest. He has been working very hard out there, and here's a chance for Arcadia on the counter. O'Connor. Abdullahi, the shot just over the crossbar. Steinglass seemed confident there that it was too high, but did not seem to miss by all that much. Play it quick to Muth. Here's Lau. Muth gets it ahead. Tumushabe trying to fight through. Viscusi flicks it forward. And the flag is up, signaling offsides on Tumushabe. The goalie was there as it is. Brian Reyes. Played back to Adenigan. Pressure in the back from Bradley. Lau is there, knocks it down for Skews. There's Joey Bradley back to Viscusi. Barilli now the heel flick. Charlie Ward trying to play him in. Who got the last touch there? Goal kick signaled. Initially, it looked like they were signaling for a corner, but the referee overruled the linesman there. Francis Eddie Harvey will be the sub coming in for Tumushabe. Finishes the first half of his collegiate career with an assist on that opener by Joe Barilli. Garnett leading 1-0 in the 31st minute. So he gets a round of applause as he comes off.
For number 15, Francis Eddie Harvey. And for Arcadia, number 11.
Abdullahi trying to play in, I believe, Tittlemeyer there. Homestead. Cross for Muth. Out of bounds, will be a throw-in for Arcadia. Muth trying to knock it forward, and Deddington puts it back. Here's Nevins. Ball ahead, Barilli gets underneath. Here's Nolan. Bradley. Lau was trying to make a run along the near touch line. Try to get that ball through to Eddie Harvey, but here's Lau. Lau trying to get in towards the end. Cross is there, and Joe Barilli with his second of the day. Ben Lau wanted that ball the whole time, and he finally got it. And he did it the perfect thing with it. Took it to the end line, and then put it across for Joe Barilli. Nets his second of the day, and the Garnet take a 2-0 lead. And Ben Lau seems to like that role as fullback, maybe a little bit more than center back. He's had more opportunity to do things, creative things offensively. And you saw right there, finally got the ball after calling for it a couple of times. Took it to the end line, and a perfectly placed pass across the goal mouth. Barilli once again sitting right where he needed to put that in the back of the net. Denigan puts it a mile high, no one underneath. And the flag is up. Actually, excuse me, it's a foul called. It's Keegan Bauer there who got wrapped up by his defender. And a well-positioned free kick for Arcadia. .11:45 to play in the first half. Garnet now leading 2-0. Lifted into the box. Abdullahi trying to get underneath. He's got Viscusi trying to strip him of the ball. Manages to maintain possession as Bradley knocks it out of bounds. Throw-in will be taken by O'Connor. Muth with the head-on back out of the box. Settles for O'Connor and blocked by Bradley. Reyes forced to come all the way back for that. Actually, he'll let it go back to goalie Jake Verado. And Reyes just lets that sail out of bounds. I think he felt the pressure there from Eddie Harvey behind him. Thought he might have gotten fouled, but not much contact from him. Gall is into the game now. Terms himself a trequartista playmaker, as we might call it. Here's Bauer. Touch there, and foul called as Muth commits it. I believe that'll be right at the edge of the penalty area. Muth came sliding in, took out Bauer in the process. So this will be about as close to the 18-yard box as you can get. huddle of night standing over it. I expect that this will be directly taken as Arcadia tries to drag one back, heading into the... sitting now in the final 10 minutes of the half. Chips it over the wall, but Steinglass is there to fall on it. Well positioned to stop that one. Here's Muth. Bradley forced to track back, and now Muth sends it long. Viscusi seeing if he can get underneath and sets off the head of Reyes back to his goalie. Verado with the big leg. Lau has got it. Forced to play it back to Steinglass. Send it down pitch. Reyes is there. Bradley gets to it. Referee signals play on as Lankow goes on. Bradley along the near touchline. Gets it to Gall. Homestead swings it around to Nolan. Denigan does well to get forward there, take that ball off the foot of Eddie Harvey. Abdullahi got him in stride. Touch out wide for Berndelmeyer. And out of bounds. Garnett throwing. They make another couple subs. So here comes Harrison Hotham, junior defender from right here in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. He'll come in for Nevins. Also coming onto the pitch is Connor Gill. Gill got pretty good playing time his freshman year, but his minutes have been cut into, especially with the forwards last season, Witkowski coming onto the team, the breakout of Viscusi as well, limiting his minutes. Bradley gets it forward. Eddie Harvey can't keep it in. So Hotham is in for Nevins. Rare that we see Nevins get a rest, and I imagine that won't be the case in later games this season, but while these games, I guess, don't count quite as much, being non-conference games, and especially with a pretty comfortable 2-0 lead, might as well get some of your lesser playing guys some time. Especially, who knows what will happen down the stretch. You always need guys that are able to step up. Injuries happen. We saw it happen to Muth, obviously, last season. You all know that you have good backups there and experienced backups. Hotham tries to play it to Gill, who can't keep it in, far touchline. Give Arcadia a throw in just inside their territory. Be out of bounds. Last touch by Arcadia. Another throw in for the Garnet. Too high for Viscusi, but Eddie Harvey is there. Had a lot of pressure in the back. Gall just threads it up the sideline looking for Lau. Can he get around Berndelmeyer? Who touched that? And it's a corner. This will be the first corner kick of the game for the Garnet. It'll be Trevor Homestead taking it, and a chance for them to possibly pad their lead here before they head to the locker rooms at the half. Score stands 2-0 right now. Both of those scored by Joe Barilli. Homestead, the in-swinger. Muth is there, tries to play it off his chest, but it trickles out of bounds. Maybe he should have just gone for the one-touch try at goal there. Verado's kick goes out of bounds. Quick throw-in from Lau. Here's Nolan. Trying to get around the outside there, but Abdullahi is there. Eddie Harvey. Now to Nolan in stride. Chips it forward. Ward trying to get to it. Reyes, however, is there. Ward still fighting for it, but Reyes gets it back. Berndlmeyer. Right to Lau. Call now to Bradley. Had pressure in the back. Ball. Good ball through to Eddie Harvey, but a Denigan is there. That'll be a goal kick for Verado. Pace has definitely slowed down here a little bit. The Garnet got balls inside the attacking third of the field, that final third, but at least in the last few minutes haven't been able to generate all that much with it. They had that lone corner, but that's about it in the last 10 minutes or so of major action. Bradley now to Gill. It's taken away from Hotham, but Abdullahi had to foul him in the process. So it'll be a free kick for the Garnet. Just outside their own 18. Muth too high for Eddie Harvey. A Denigan. Try to get it forward.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Here's Shade Foreman with 1 minute left to play here. Berndlmeyer. Oh, and now here's Viscusi. Garnet on the counter. Played out of bounds by Reyes. They'll have to move quick here if they want to generate anything before time runs out. Lau. Muth pops it up in the air. Eddie Harvey trying to get underneath. Abdullahi lays it off for Lankow. Just kept in impressively by Foreman. Good ball through. Oh, and what a goal there from Abdullahi. Don't see that very often. The diving header there to get it past a sprawling Steinglass. So Arcadia able to drag one back in the final minute of the first half. Lead looking not quite as comfortable now, down to 2-1. Both goals scored by Joe Barilli. That was all Shade Foreman there. Just able to keep the ball in along the near sideline. And then with a beautiful cross to hit Abdullahi with the diving header. Cut the deficit to 1 as the halftime whistle blows. But a good start for the Garnet, that's for sure. It was initially Bless Tumashabe, the freshman, showing off his skills as he set up Joe Barilli for the opener. Then it was Ben Lau, who, having moved from center back last season to playing as the right fullback this year, able to generate some good balls in attack, was able to get it right on the edge of the 18, took it to the end line and crossed it once again. Barilli in the perfect spot. But Arcadia with one back right at the end of the first half. We head to our break, the Garnet leading 2-1. Welcome back for the second half of action here on the opening day of the 2019 Swarthmore Garnet men's soccer season. They lead 2-1 right now. Impressive first half offensively. We've seen a talented freshman in Blessed Tumoshabe out there. He's back on to start the second half. Gets a round of applause. Had an assist on the opening goal of the game. That was to Joe Barilli as he made a nice move to first get around a defender's tackle and then deked the goalie and crossed it perfectly for Joe Barilli. Put it in off the post. Joe Barilli also putting the second one in the back of the net. And that time it was off of an assist by Ben Lau. And we've seen Ben Lau moved out onto the right back position, onto the right wing, and he's been very mobile there, very active in the attack. He was center back last season, so we didn't really see him get involved in any way offensively, except really on set pieces. He scored 2 goals off of those, but he was never involved in setting up his teammates. We've seen him do that today. Had a beautiful run there. Here's Barilli again near the top of the box, trying to take a shot, but it's right at Verado, looking for his hat trick. So Ben Lau helping to open up the offense from the back. Sean Nolan also on the left wing has been pretty active. Used to seeing Michael Gross in that position. He's out at the moment, not active for today's game, but Nolan has been a pretty solid replacement for the talented Gross, who's done well as a fullback. There's a speculative ball for Barilli, flashing his speed there to chase it down at the end line, looking to dribble back in. Barilli chips one up to Moshabe, and Verado has to make a nice save there, falling away to keep that one out. So the Garnet coming out firing here early. 2 shots in the first 2 minutes of play. They had 4 in the first half. 2 of those were on target, both of them resulting in goals. They've gotten 2 more at Verado to force the first 2 saves of the game from him. On the other side, Arcadia didn't really have much going for them. They got 1 shot through the first 44 minutes of the game. That was off of a free kick. Tried to just chip it over the wall, but Steinglass was right there to stop it. Not much of a struggle for him. Keep that ball out, but then it was Abdullahi, the super sub in the first half, with a diving header to cut the deficit to 1. That's where it stands now, 2-1, the Garnet lead. Homestead will get it to Nolan. Barilli trying to get up the sideline again, but the ball into Shin actually leaves it off for Barilli. Nice flick in, but he can't get the controlling touch there, and nobody behind. Homestead trying to fight back onto that ball. He'll get it. Plays it through. Barilli trying to get around the edge there on Runkle. And Barilli forces another stop out of Verado. I will credit that one as a shot. A little bit of a tight angle there. Not sure that actually had a chance at net. Muth trying to get underneath. Pressure from Bauer behind him. Eventually able to win that battle. Try to get up the touchline. Barilli there. And Homestead now forward to Shin. Tumoshabe and Io George at the top. They've been experimenting a little bit today with some players. I assume we'll see changes to the lineup. I expect by the start of conference play, we'll see both Omri Gall and Zach Viscusi at the very least in the starting lineup. But Tumoshabe, Io George, and Joe Barilli, expect that he will continue to start, but they've impressed so far up at the top. And Sean Nolan as well, playing as The left back is a true freshman, his first collegiate game, and getting the start has done pretty well. See him there now trying to make a run, but Denigan is there. Thomas Hoy gets it to Tittlemeyer. Shin, good tackle. Tumushabe gets tripped up. No call. Lau to Homestead. Now here's Barilli. Safely back to Nolan, however. Allows to come back for it, and now Steinglass. Nevins to Ward, and now to Muth. Tries to put it over the top, but nobody there. Denigan with it, and has to get rid of it as Tumushabe threatens. Nice flick forward by Bauer. Steinglass is there. Trying to sweep out and get that away. It'll go out the sideline. Throw in. This will be taken by Duncan O'Connor. And Denigan will set up near the goal mouth, looking for Abdullahi, the goal scorer. And it'll go out of bounds. But another throw-in opportunity. Denigan attracting all the attention at the near post. It's going up for him, but Charlie Ward is there marking. Barilli fighting with Abdullahi, who flicks it up. Nolan gets underneath, and now Ward trying to get out of his own end. Here's Homestead. Now Joe Barilli. That's a dangerous ball there. Bauer gets onto it and explains why Homestead was fouled as he got rid of it. Give the Garnet a free kick. Nevins plays it short to Ward. Nolan. Now here's Shin. Io George trying to flick it ahead, but Tumushabe not quite on the same page. Homestead out into space. Passes it off to Nolan. But here's Shin. Woojin Shin playing in Tumushabe. Barilli now coming around. Tumushabe with a nice move. Somehow that ball continued to stay in. And Denigan plays it out the side. Thrown from Nolan goes to Shin. Homestead bullet through to Barilli. Now here's Nolan lifting it up. Io George popped up into the air. George still fighting for possession. Along the touchline, stays in. Now back to Lau. George lifts in the cross. Shin controls, shoots. Almost going in there. Believe that hit the crossbar. Maybe took a bounce off of Verado. Wasn't sure if he got a piece of that. Left in behind now for Nolan. He crosses it. Too strong. Io George there on the other side of the box. Lifts it back up to Mushabe trying to get underneath. And nobody can quite put it on top of him. Two times now, cross went over his head. Nevins, good job getting over the top of Bauer. Barilli keeps it in. Abdullahi, however, takes it away. Tittlemeyer now, and here's the counterattack for Arcadia. Good clean tackle there from Shin. And that'll be Swarthmore possession with the throw-in at the far touchline. Muth. Here's Homestead. And now Barilli makes the turn upfield. Barilli trying to chip in Charlie Ward. Ward gets to it. Reyes is there, pushes him down. See what the call is. And they will say it was not in the box. Right on the edge of the 18-yard box, about as close as you can get. I thought it was clear that Ward was over the line there when Reyes took him down from behind. But the referee, with the assistance of the linesman, signaling that one just outside the 18. So Ward will have an opportunity off the set piece to try to curl this one into the corner. Here he goes, tries to curl that, but off the wall. Nearly got to clear. Oh, and a handball. A handball in the box, and that is a penalty for the Garnet. Didn't quite see where the handball was. Thought that was off of a head of an Arcadia player, but a referee with a better angle there. And the Garnet with an opportunity to push their lead back to 2. It'll be Homestead, the senior captain, at the spot. All eyes on the senior. And he puts that in with ease. Send Ferrado the wrong way. And the Garnet lead now 3-1. It was Charlie Ward who got that start. Initially looked like he was going to be clear in on goal. Instead, Reyes took him down from behind. It was called right on the edge of the penalty area, just outside. And the free kick was handled inside the box, leading to Homestead getting the opportunity from the spot. And he pushes the Garnet lead back to 3. Or back to 2, excuse me. Garnet have often done well in their opening game of the season. Remember, 3 years ago now, my freshman year, it was a 4-1 win over, I believe, Rosemont. Let's start off the season. Billy Evers. I don't know if anybody listening to this broadcast remembers him. Perhaps he's listening. We can hope. But he scored a couple of bangers in that one. Ultimately, the season as a whole not quite as successful, but they do certainly know how to start off in style. Ben Lau will take this free kick. Back to Nevins, however. Nolan instead to Muth. Lifts it over the top. George trying to get underneath. Io George into the box, trying to get it back for Tumushabe. Nobody there. Homestead comes forward. That's just deflected away. That time by Berndelmeyer out of bounds. Here's Nolan. Nobody on the other end. Nevins tries to knock it down, but commits the foul in the process. Arcadia goes quick. Ball over the top, but right to Steinglass. And he'll now pick it up. Shin with a little bit of an errant touch there, but able to save it and get to Nevins. Here's Barilli. Lays it off for Nolan. Had space up the sideline, instead decided to hold on to it. And now here's Tumushabe. He's got Ward and Barilli and George out wide. No space for him. Plays it back to Nolan. Muth. Gets one through to George. Shin is there. Tumushabe out wide. Back onto his right foot. Ward tries to redirect to the near post, but just wide. Be a goal kick for Verado. 11 shots now credited to the Garnet. They've been pouring them in the early goings in this second half. 4 shots in the first half, but 7 now in the opening 14 minutes of the second. Verado sends it long.
Number 3, Connor Wright.
Nolan. Nevins lifts it through the air. Tumushabe trying to get to it. Bernemeyer is there. Lau knocks it down. Lau, nice dribble around O'Connor. Ward dancing through some traffic. He rips one well high. Couple fans down in the stands signal that the field goal is good, as it likely would have been if there was a set of uprights on this field. No football here for the Garnet fans. At least no American football. Verado showing off the leg once again. Ward gets underneath. Here's George. I believe that deflected off the hand of Tumushabe. Flicked forward. Nolan fighting for it there with Foreman. Barilli with the pressure applied by Larondo, but it'll be a Garnet throw-in. Homestead making his way off in place of Gall. Barilli able to keep it in along the touchline. Here he goes looking for George to run it down. George showing off his straight line speed. That'll be picked up by Verado. Lau forward to George. Here's Nevins. Call with the nice move as Larondo got dropped. Barilli trying to curl it forward into the pass of Tumushabe. Lau. Can't get it there to Gall. Nice step by Nevins. Out of bounds. Another throw-in for Arcadia now. First they'll make a substitution. It's Devin Rosser. Homestead getting looked at down at the trainers. It's like a foot or ankle issue. Hopefully nothing serious.
Entering the game for Arcadia, number 13, Devin Rosso.
Popped up ahead. Gall gets underneath. And through and into the path of Kuchnicki. Out of bounds, last touch by the Garnet. Go out the back. It will be a goal kick for Steinglass. He's had a quiet day in net. Faced only 2 shots. One of those went in. A little bit of a fluke there as it took a spectacular shot with the diving header from Harun Abdullahi to score it. Denigan sends it all the way back down. Steinglass is there. Distribute to Nevins. Muth slipped as he launched that one. George picks up. Oh, he had his shirt grabbed. George trying to get the cross. Oh, Gall left it off there because he thought Tumushabe was going to get it. Tumushabe looked like he thought Gall had it. Foul near midfield. Be a free kick for Arcadia. Nevins heads it back. Ward knocks it over midfield, but Arcadia will bring it back over. Couple players losing their footing. Gall plays it back to Nevins. Sean Nolan. Gall flicks it forward. Ward now. It's taken away by Denigan. Aggressive step upfield. Out wide now for Kuchnicki. Here's O'Connor. Denigan. Up in the air, Gall trying to settle it. Barilli gets it over his head, and he is fouled by Denigan in the process. First a substitution, another one for Arcadia. It's Zach Runkle coming back on. And we will have a timeout on the field. We'll take a short break along with them. 3-1 is your score right now. The Garnet lead, 2 from Joe Barilli, 1 from Trevor Homestead. 23:02 left to play in this second half as players get some water in. We'll be right back. We're back midway through the second half after that hydration break. Jacob Brady on the call here on the Garnet Sports Network. Not a terribly hot day there, at about 82, 83, but it certainly is humid, and the sun continuing to shine down there, so a referee wisely calling for a little break there, make sure that players can get some fluids in. A substitution for the Garnet as well, Derek Muth, freshman, coming on. A proud line of Muths have attended Swarthmore and played soccer as defenders. Started off with Ryan, who was a center back. All 4 years he was here. Jason out there on the pitch, and now sharing it with his brother as well, Derek, coming in at left back as Sean Nolan switches over to the right side. Ben Lau coming out. Steinglass able to get a hand on as it's dangerous in the box. Eventually will drift out of bounds for a Garnet goal kick. Steinglass taking his time with it, as Viscusi also back into the game now for the Garnet. A little bit of a quiet game for him so far. We'll see if he can get himself into the action here in the second half. A little surprised to see him coming off the bench to start off this game, but perhaps either a strategy to see if they can use his energy against his speed and energy against some tired defenders in the second part of each half, or perhaps just experimenting with the younger freshman Tumushabe and the sophomore in Io George. Up at forward, it's a mistake from Nevins and put wide by Foreman. Don't see that very often there, as Nevins just overextended himself defensively. Foreman was able to stay with it, had pretty open shot at net and just put it wide. And Tumushabe coming off, likely for the final time today, to a round of applause from his supporters in the stands. It'll be Eddie Harvey making his way back onto the pitch. Abdullahi also back into the game. He's the lone goal scorer for Arcadia. Sean Nolan trying to track it down with Kuchnicki there as well. Now here's Lankow. Adenigan. No one is there. Io George. Now here's Bradley to Eddie Harvey holding it up. And now Muth in stride. Quick stop there. Gets it back to Gall. Nevins gets blocked. And Jason Muth has to clean that up. Two surprising sort of miscues there from Harry Nevins, back to back. First allowing Foreman to take the ball away from him, and then taken off his foot there by Marshman. Throwing, looking for a Denigan. Flicked up in the air. Thought it was off the foot of Muth, but safely into the hands of Steinglass. Punt away. Eddie Harvey off his shoulder. Bradley trying to fight for it. Now it settles for Viscusi. Muth playing it into space for Bradley. Couldn't quite keep it in. Throne will be taken by Devin Rosser. Headed back. Rosser again, out of bounds off of Gall. Abdullahi surrounded by white and gray jerseys. Able to get free. Here he is again. That time it's taken away by Eddie Harvey. Abdullahi gets it out of bounds. But a throw-in will be taken by Muth. Eddie Harvey goes down, no call. And Denigan clears it away. Lau tracking back now as he has replaced Harry Nevins.
Number 10, Daniel Tillman.
Popped up in the air. Viscusi trying to get underneath. Viscusi still fighting for it. That'll go through. Eddie Harvey, the shot. Oh, what a save by Verado. Tested once again, but he stands tall there. He's made 4 pretty nice saves now on the day. Eddie Harvey has his feet taken out, and a Knight is down on the field. Back up on his feet is Runkle. In the corner now, Io George. Bradley. It's controlled back by the Knights. Here's a Denigan. Off the chest of Muth. Trickles out of bounds. Rosser wants Abdullahi. Sets to Larondo. Go out the back, and it'll be a corner kick for Arcadia. So a chance for them to cut the deficit to 1 here in the 30th minute of the second half. 15 left to play. Driven in. Popped out off of Steinglass and Lau. Shin gets his hand underneath, but it's out of bounds again. Arcadia throwing. Taken by Berndlmeyer. Popped up, Steinglass grabs it. Berndlmeyer getting back quick. Make sure the Garnet don't try to get their counterattack going. Gall leaves it off for Abdullahi, who tries to cross it in. Nobody on the other end of that service. Steinglass picks up. Do it all over again. Gall trying to look upfield, but Denigan is there with an aggressive step. Ben Lau takes it away. Lau back at center back, so his creativity out on the wing, lost here for the remainder of this game. But what we saw from him in the first half, especially making those deep runs, very impressive from here. Moves really well, really understands the flow of the game and able to move off of his teammates. Here's George trying to get around the edge into the middle now for Eddie Harvey. Lift it up, trying to find Bradley. He will track it down in the corner. Bradley fighting there. It's inbounds. Bradley still fighting for it. Rosser had it. Shin with the heavy contact from Lorando. Draws the foul. It'll be Muth on the other end of this kick. About 40 yards out. Lifted up into the box, but headed down by Arcadia, and Tittlemeyer pops it out. Shin back forward. Lau was off sides. Viscusi apparently off as well. He did find the back of the net, but it will not stand as the flag was up. Abdullahi lays off for Lankow. Here he is, forced to chip it back to a Denigan. We'll hammer that out the side. Garnet throwing deep in their own territory. Gall, heavy contact behind there. Trying to get it back to Abdullahi. He's got it in the corner now. Trying to work in on Muth. Cross is deflected and Lau gets rid of it. Reyes's cross gets blocked there by Shin. Joe Barilli back into the game. Muth able to clear it out. Reyes will try to send it long into the box. Off the foot of Shin and for a corner. Here's the delivery. Abdullahi trying to get fancy there. Barilli flashing his speed. Viscusi's got it. Tried to lay it off for Barilli, but he had other ideas going on ahead. Viscusi tried to play it through to Eddie Harvey there. Now here's Nolan. He gets it to Eddie Harvey. Cross all the way to Bradley. Lifted up too high for Eddie Harvey through the hands of Verado, but able to collect it. Ben Lau underneath, back to Steinglass. Gall will play it off to Muth. Viscusi trying to fight for it. And the ball awards to Swarthmore off the tackle from Muth. Eddie Harvey. Here's Gall trying to make something happen. Ben Lau collects it near midfield. Forward to Gall. Gall into the box. Here he goes. Got clipped by a Denigan. Shot there from Eddie Harvey. Got deflected. Viscusi tries to run through it. Last touch by Arcadia. Garnet throwing. Short to Viscusi. Turns back towards the middle. Bradley able to hold on to it. Here's Gall. Shin, too strong there. He's looking for Viscusi. Voster will let it go out of bounds. Goal kick. Couple of subs for Arcadia as Bauer and Foreman both come on. Lau lifts it up, too high for Viscusi. Gall back on it. Bradley had space, instead he'll pull it back. Now here's Gall. He's got Eddie Harvey and Viscusi running with him. Eddie Harvey there, if he had taken it first touch on the pass, might have been able to push it through to Viscusi. Muth. Here's Viscusi. And nobody there. Unhappy as he expected Gall to come forward. Reyes. Put some zip on it. Brandon Pryor having just checked in. Muth clears it up ahead. Eddie Harvey trying to get underneath. Misjudged there by the Arcadia defender, but sent all the way back down, and Steinglass will collect. Here's Muth in stride. Now Gall. Gall out wide. Bradley will chase it down. Looking for a pass. Said passes to Gall. Here's Omri into the box. Let it go out the back for a corner. Homestead coming back onto the pitch. He will replace Gall. So Muth squared, I guess. Both Jason and Derek, along with Ben Lau, coming forward. Shin and Nolan remaining back, along with Keegan Bauer. Bradley delivers into the hands of Verado. Gets rid of it quickly, sails out of bounds for Garnet thrown. We're inside the final 5 minutes of this one. Garnet continuing to lead 3-1. 2 goals from Joe Barilli, and the other from Trevor Homestead from the penalty spot. Homestead, heavy contact there with Reyes. Steinglass picks up. Shove there from Muth on Keegan Bauer. clearly extending the arms there into him. Earns a whistle and a free kick for Arcadia. They try to cut the deficit down to 1 with only 3 minutes remaining in this match. Shin pops it up, volleying it back in, or trying to at least, is O'Connor. Bauer trying to get fancy, but well high. Steinglass pushing his men up the field. Garnet would love to tag one on here. The end of this one. See if they can make it a 4-1 win. Eddie Harvey, contact there with Reyes. Bradley trying to fight for that ball. Thomas Hoy has got it. Here's Barilli now. To Eddie Harvey, the give and go. Touched out of bounds by Connor Wright. Thrown for the Garnet, far sideline. Taken by Nolan.
1 minute remaining
Inside the final minute of play here. Here's Viscusi. Shot is blocked by Wright. Another thrown for the Garnet, far sideline. Homestead. Here's Bradley. Nolan. Send it all the way back to Steinglass, who gets rid of it quick. But out of bounds. Throw in for Arcadia. 15 seconds now to make something happen.
10, 9, 8,
Cross back through, and there's a consolation goal
3, 2, 1.
for Keegan Bauer. The horn rang, but the ball was in the back of the net around the 8-second mark or so. So they will put some time back on the clock. So 3-2 the lead. Keegan Bauer able to put that ball home. So 10 seconds now to see if Arcadia can do anything with that. Tie this game. Homestead just boots it away. Verado picks up, retreats. And the horn will then sound. So a little bit of excitement at the end of that one as Arcadia cuts into the lead. A little bit of a consolation goal right at the end. The clock did not stop, so the horn sounded and they had to restart. But as it is a win for the Garnet. 3-2 your final score. Couple of goals from Joe Barilli. one from Trevor Homestead. And that top line, at least to start the game, of Bless, Tumushabe, Io George, and Tumushabe, Io George, in addition to Joe Barilli up there, did well for themselves in this game. Barilli especially found himself in the right place at the right time twice and put them into the back of the net both times. The assists coming from Tumushabe and from Ben Lau. Ben Lau playing out wide and doing a lot there in the attack. We're used to seeing him as a central defender, but he is clearly adept out on the wing, as he proved today. And the Garnet win their home opener of the 2019 season, starting off on the right foot with a 1-0 win. Thank you for joining us on the Garnet Sports Network. My name is Jacob Brady. We'll be back for the neutral game later today between Alvernia and Rosemont. That'll be at 4 o'clock.